At this time, it's time for public comment. As always, state your name, your address, and you will have 5 minutes to speak. And I want to assure you, council does listen. However, we will not be making comments. Anybody like to address us?
Hi everybody, my name is Dr. William Brady and I was the Pickle Tournament Chairman for the 83rd Pickle Tournament and Vice President of the Algonac Lions Club. I did write something that I was concerned with. First I want to thank council. I watched the meeting from the last meeting. I want to thank everybody for the great comments. I want to thank all the council people, all of you guys that showed up at the Pickle Tournament and supported it. I really appreciate it. I just want to say one thing about it this year. It concerns me. This year I understand as of today, nothing can be changed with the permit or the monies, okay? With that said, I want you to understand that I'm just gonna read what I have. This year I understand as of today, nothing can be changed with the Pickle Tournament permit fees, even though many of you on the board would if you could, and I understand that. I respect you and your integrity, I thank you. My concern now is next year. What charges will the Lions face? Is it fair to say that the amount will go up another 50 or 60%? What about other nonprofit groups? Will it affect them? Is it fair to charge one nonprofit group and not the others? Researching other cities, they don't charge their nonprofits for events, okay? They don't expect donations to their city governments. Some officials have told me from other cities, if they charge large fees, it's like taking money from their charities and from their community. Why would we do that? My point is that the board should come up with a nonprofit group plan where all nonprofits are treated equal in charges, whether the event is 1 day or whether it is 5 days, especially when council members are involved in so many nonprofit groups. Fair is fair, as it's not about the city government or the power of the leaders of the other groups or organization. It's about our community. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak?
Hello, Davey, 710 Smith. At the May 18th council, this council approved a special event permit for the 83rd annual Algonac Lions Pickle Tournament. Mr. Jerry Gordon spoke to council on behalf of the Lions, and I would like to quote some of the points that he made that evening. He said, "We have a lot of uncertain times right now. We haven't had any fundraisers to speak of. We've met with the city manager starting in January. She's been very helpful, outlining what we have to do to get this correctly done. We do have one issue, however. We have already submitted a check for $2,500 for our portion of the cost. That's already 80% over what we have ever paid before. 2 years ago, we made $19,000 for the whole tournament." Now, earlier this year, the city administration, without warning or prior discussion, informed the Lions Club that their fee for this year's tournament would be $5,000. During council discussion on May 18th, Councilman Bembas stated that while the pickerel tournament is good for the city, it would be my hope that the Lions continue talking with our city manager and come up with ways to save money. He added that he had worked with them in getting the special event permit together and hoped that that's the starting point to come to better agreements now and for the future. Mr. Bembas, that starting point should have been July 6th, 2020, not after the city hit the Lions with a fee that was $3,500 above what they had paid in 2019. Mayor Stoneburner followed with, "I am glad we're having a pickerel tournament, a quality pickerel tournament. That's what we need. We're gradually getting back to normal, and this will be a turning corner for our city." The 83rd annual pickerel tournament not only returned a sense of normalcy back to our community, it put a spotlight on the work that has been done to Riverfront Park. Those, in my opinion, are priceless. I noticed that wrong way. Oops, I'm missing something here. Okay. Every year, the Lions submit a special event request. The application form the Lions were given this year had a question they haven't ever had to answer before. Question number 6 on that form asks, have you donated to the city in the past 2 years? If so, what was the donation and what was the value of that donation? After the permit was submitted, City Manager Gerstenberg added this sentence to Chairman Brady's answer. No, the Lions have not donated to the city in the past 2 years. That sentence is what brings me here tonight. On May 18th, Councilman Corey Blair said, and I quote, I noticed that the Lions have not donated to the city in the past 2 years. Now, I found that interesting considering that until sometime in August of last year, both he and Councilman Gillis were members of the Lions Club. In that packet that I gave you, you'll find a list of few of the community activities that the Algonac Lions have either hosted or sponsored in the past 2 years, along with media ads for those events, and events that were held in conjunction with church organizations and other nonprofits within the city. Included in the packet are items that the Algonac Lions Club contributed to the city, such as the Smith's Field sign, raising funds for the Lions Field sign on M29, and hosting an event to raise money for the buddy benches that were donated to the city by Girl Scout Troop number 76974. Mr. Blair, are you saying that none of this is a donation to the city? That nothing that you did as a Lion for half of those 2 years was for the city of Algonac? Ms. Gerstenberg, what number would you put to give a value on what the Lions have donated to this community? The largest fundraiser for the Algonac Lions is the pickerel tournament. Last year, the pandemic hit the Lions in the pocketbook, along with every other nonprofit in the country. I think it's a pretty safe bet that the amount that the Algonac Lions put into this community in the past 2 years far exceed what they took in from 2019 and 2020 tournaments. Apparently, this is not going to happen, but tonight I am asking this council to instruct the city treasurer to accept the $2,500 check from the Algonac Lions dated May 10th, 2021 as payment in full, and to direct the city manager to waive the additional $2,500 due on August 1st. The residents of this city don't look to the city administrations for answers. They look directly at those sitting at this table. It's all up to you. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak?
Yes. Andy Goulet, 9812 North River Road, 17 houses north of the Algonac city limits. I've been a resident of this city since 1989 permanently. I moved to Clay Township, 17 houses north of the city limits in 2002. I've been here a long time, and I've appreciated many, many things that the city and the township and surrounding communities have done. I have always appreciated the things that the Algonac Lions Club has done. I volunteered my time for them when I did not have time commitments to be a member of their organization, because I believed in the wonderful things that they do by supporting members of our community. All right. To that end, in the last 2 years, not to get into specifics, and I'm not pointing fingers or anything of that nature, but as the chairman of the 2022 84th Annual Lions Pickerel Tournament chairman, which I will be, over the last 2 years, over $55,000 has been donated to our community in the form of truckloads of food giveaways, people's houses that burnt down, numerous other things. There's a list. And for anyone to say that the Lions Club has not donated to the city, or even try to think about that for a second, is, in my years of being here and watching what has happened in this community and watching the things that the Lions have done, that just doesn't make sense. I joined the Lions last fall because the time commitment thing has changed, and I retired. Today is day 4 of my official retirement. Thanks for your congratulations. The efforts that the club does and the money that the club raises, we give away. We give it to the people that live here. That we do not write a check to City Hall should be a thing that the city should be proud of. That the city should stand up and say, thank you for helping the people that live in our community. Thank you for feeding them, for clothing them, for giving them medical supplies and other equipment and services and things that they otherwise could not do for themselves. Thank you. $5,000. That is 5 truckloads of food. Please think about this. 5 truckloads of food at 1,000, sometimes closer to 1,100. Cars were lined up down the street to get that food, and we happily gave it. We spent $2,400 on the senior citizen baskets of food that they get every Christmas. As Ms. Davey mentioned, with little or no fundraising over the last 2 years because of the wonderful virus that decided to descend upon us, we didn't raise money, but we kept spending it. So the thing about the Algonac Lions make so much money they can afford to give us some is not a valid argument. And here's why. Because the money we raise doesn't go in Andy's pocket or Tim's pocket or Jerry's pocket. It goes into giving things to our community. And $5,000, I couldn't believe it. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't believe it. And that there is no way to say that 2,500 is plenty, which it, in my opinion, should have been. But bygones are going to be bygones because nothing, quote unquote, can be done about that. All right. As the 84th annual Lions Pickerel Tournament chairman in 2022, I would like to ask the council to start considering now, and I would appreciate each and every one of you thinking long and hard, real long and real hard, about how you want to treat an organization that gives it all away, or whether you want to have them write you a check. My final note is going to be, if you have any axe to grind or disdainment for or a grievance with the Algonac Lions Club, as council members, you must put that aside. You must. Because that's what fair city government does. Make your decisions based on the merits of the permit application that we submit. Please. And please appreciate this much, if anything, this much. Please appreciate that the money that we take in, while we might not give a truckload of money to City Hall, we help the people that live here. The Lions Clubs International, the motto is 2 words. We serve. And we look forward to continuing to do that, and thank you very much for your time.
Anyone else like to address council?
Ryan, Davey, 710 Smith, ran with Rocky, Jake, Terry, back for council back in the day. Rocky's chairman of the Algonac play. I would hope he would help support the Lions as they help the whole community, not just the town here. And it's how did we stand to, why did we fall? And this council seems to be starting to divide, and it can't. We're the city of Algonac, we have to stay strong. Things are not being done. Ms. Stone Burner, I'm gonna back you up too. She has not had a review. Why? She's due. She's overdue. Everybody here is entitled to the same fairness. You can't go one group against the other. Everybody should be treated equally. That's all I have to say.